Hey everyone, Pesmori here, and welcome to Trials of Innocence. Well, I thought security would be impeccable at such a large-scale international event. But who would have known? During the Universal Games... Oh. A police officer will be found dead in the sauna of an athlete's rest area. Yeesh. Okay. They really like to say well a lot, huh? And a lot, huh? And ha a lot. Well. As the host, our country must be like ants on a hot pan right now. No wonder this case is being rushed for trial. Fortunately, the suspect in this case was seized on the spot after the crime, which spared a lot of trouble. Hold on, I'm the defense lawyer? I'm the defense lawyer! How could I think this is a good thing? Whew. You hardly had a serious talk at the detention center yesterday. Although I found some evidence at the crime scene during the investigation, many details haven't been confirmed with the client. If Dad didn't insist I defend his old friend, I really wouldn't take on such a troublesome case. What a headache. How can I possibly deduce anything with such scant evidence? Thank goodness I arrived early. I must confirm with him personally before the trial begins. Huh? Something's flying towards me. It's aiming for my temple? Ha! Got it! This is a chalk stub? Oh, hello. Who are you? Ahem, Charlie. Uh-huh. You're calling me? When your name is called, you should answer here. Here. Wait a minute. Why am I obeying him? Your voice is loud and clear. Well done. Oh, thank you. Now, let's check your assignment. Huh? The hell are you on about? Your current assignment is defending your teacher. It was assigned yesterday, and now you've forgotten? How irresponsible. Huh. Seems like there was indeed an assignment. Wait a minute. I almost said Sans. Oh no, I said Sans. Sains. You know what? Fuck it. Sans. It's Mr. English. There's only one English in my life, and his first name is Johnny. And that ain't you. I'm just gonna call you Sans from now on. Yes, Sans. The full name of this Mr. English is Sans English. I do not know how to pronounce the name. I'm just gonna say Sans from now on. If I remember correctly, he should be a well-known math professor in the country. It's hard to imagine from his appearance that he was once my father's comrade. After leaving the army, he got into scientific research. What a complete turnaround. I mean, my instructor for my job, like the training, went from being a commander in the army to being a CAD drafter. So, it could be much worse. Mr. English, Sans. Yeah, I'm not gonna call you Mr. English. Everything came up so suddenly, and I spent a lot of time on paperwork yesterday. So there are still many things to clarify. Would you... What the Really? Oh, you're my defense attorney. Okay, time to physically assault you. Ow! Almost hit my eye. Sharpening your sword when charging forward? Are you serious? Hey, I didn't watch this either. Faced with this surprise test, there's no choice. Well then, let's review before the exam. Charlie, you ask questions and I'll answer them one by one. That's usually how it goes. Everything I say is key points, so take notes. Yes. Huh. Standard procedure. This student ID doesn't look anything like the style of our school. Could it be a fake certificate you obtained from a shady guy on the street? But it's not a student ID. No more lies. Confess now, otherwise your credits will be gone once the school finds out. Sans, look closely. This is my lawyer's this is my lawyer's license. Oh, really? Let me see. So you're just an intermediate lawyer. I thought you were at least senior. Hey, being an intermediate lawyer at my age is already very impressive. Yeah, how old? Oh, he doesn't have that stubble. Yeah, and yeah. Is that like the only thing that's changed? Like no stubble? I feel like there should be more. I can do a comparison later. I see. And I'll be promoted to senior lawyer in a few years. Nonsense! How many a few years do you think you have? Where's your ambition? Where's your motivation? You're too focused on my career. Focus on your innocence instead. Time is money, understand? Yes. Mr. English, do you have any impression of the scene of the photo? Yeah? This guy was a formidable opponent. Opponent? Exactly. That intense battle will remain etched in my memory forever. If you end up in prison because of that, it would be truly unforgettable. But it's my first time to see the scene in the photo. You didn't witness it at the scene? Yeah, but it's hard to explain it in a few words. Right, instead of showing him the photo, it's better to ask about the case directly. This studio truly lives up to its reputation. None of the previous ones can match it. Perhaps the next, even the one after the next Universal Games wouldn't be as spectacular as this one. I agree. I marveled at it when I was investigating yesterday. Unfortunately, I didn't get any tickets. You're lucky to be a volunteer here. Sans. Have you ever read Fortress Besieged? I mean, I played Team Fortress 2. Does that count? Huh? People outside want to come in, while those inside want to escape. That's us now. Still kinda sounds like Team Fortress 2 in a way. Huh. I can understand the former, but why would those inside want to escape? In such a huge stadium? Without a guide? I got lost so many times a day. Of course I want to escape. I see. It seems being a volunteer isn't as easy as I imagined. Only if you're like bad at navigation, I guess. Sans, please take a look at this. What's this? I've never seen it before. Huh? This is a bullet fired from a pistol you once held. How can you have no recollection of it? Foolishness, Charlie. Foolishness. One does not simply outsmart a bullet. Before the bullet was fired, it was inside the opaque magazine of a gun. After fired, it was so fast the human eye can't catch it. If a bullet is so slow that the human eye can catch it, that's a bad bullet or a bad gun. Who knows where it would end up? Thus, how can I have any recollection of it? He made a valid point. Sans, is this your pass? Yes, I'm usually engaged in academic research and mentoring. Volunteering is just part-time. Why would Crimson Ultra-Realistic Robot Research Center hire you for this part-time job? Their ultra-realistic robots adopt the most advanced technology. Only experts know how to operate them properly. So you're an expert in robots? No, I'm just good at math. So I help them keep track of quantities of robots. But there are only 2 robots though. Besides, I'm an old friend of the director of this research center. Friends help each other, you know? Of course. Did you just mention the popular scientific genius Joseph Crimson? Joseph Crimson, huh? So that's his name? Aren't you his old friend? How come you don't know his name? Whatever. There are too many mysteries with this guy. I better ignore some of them. Just focus on the trial at hand. Sans, have you seen this? The results sheet for the women's gymnastic all-around competition at this year's Universal Games? Yeah. Do you have anything to say about it? Of course. How can this results sheet only list the scores of the players? Huh? What else should it have? Foolishness, Charlie. Foolishness. The truly dazzling data for the athletes is not their competition scores, but their body measurements. Okay, sure. Huh? Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna read that out loud. I've never heard anyone judge gymnasts like that. Well, neither have you guys. But you probably read it. Unless you have friends like these, I guess. Such laymen like you won't understand. From a mathematical perspective, the physique of gymnasts embodies golden ratio. Take the athlete from Neon, for example. Although her boobies are not so perfect. Her streamlined figure is no less inferior to a top model, and her... Okay, that's enough. Nasty old rat. If I don't interrupt, he might judge every athlete. Mr. English, take a look at this. Isn't this a 1-inch photo of yours? Why are you showing me this? Did you lose your student ID again? No? Look at this messy hair. It's like a chicken's nest. So untidy. Sorry. Actually, I was planning to grow some stubble these days. Better not let him know. Why a stubble? You know what? Good luck. I believe in you. Yes, you can. Sans, is this your photo? Yes, it is. Radiant and full of spirit. That's me. Isn't this photo from the police records? I remember they don't allow facial decoration in the photos. There's a scar on my face from a previous battle. The monocle is used to cover it, not for decoration. Sorry for misunderstanding. They also have a photo without the monocle, but out of respect, they decided to only release this one. It shows the humanization of our country's law enforcement. Don't you understand? Do you understand? Yes. In the end, they still arrested you humanely. I can search this place? Really? Okay. The gate of the defendant's detention room. This room is usually used to keep dangerous defendants. In most cases, the defendant would be in another room, with a more relaxing atmosphere. Considering my client's background as a former Special Forces soldier, it's reasonable to treat him like this. Green plants found in every room of the courthouse. I heard they have fancy names like Tom or Charlie. I don't understand why they call a plant by a human's name. If I were to have plants in my office, I would call them by a cultural name. This bizarre hanging painting. I stared at it for so many years, but apart from the buildings, I can't tell what they're supposed to depict. Chief Thomas told me it's Wukong battling the alien, but I'm pretty sure he just made it up on the spot. Maybe. Just as I entered, I noticed these two ominous objects covered in cloth. What on earth are they? I really want to uncover them, but I'm afraid of seeing something nightmarish. Forget it, the trial's gonna start. No time to wander around. It's better to focus on the matter at hand. Speaking of which, this case came too suddenly. I haven't even had the chance to do a background investigation on the client. Sans. I heard you're a famous mathematician. Nonsense! I'm here! In front of you! I'm right here in front of you. Do you need to hear from others? Sorry. I just wanted to have a basic knowledge of you. It might help with the defense. I see. Want to hear about my achievements? Just ask. The topic I dedicate myself to is the Goldberg's infinite series unilateral decrease theory. Understand? No. While researching, I enjoy cultivating the next generation, so I offered an optional course at the public university. So you're a math teacher there? Right. Mr. English is a respectful title for you younger folks. My peers just call me Sans. So you're a math teacher named Sans? How crazy is that? Our meeting was really rushed yesterday. Could you repeat what you did on the day of the incident? I told you many times, but you didn't pay attention at all. Shut the hell up. Huh? Fine, I'll explain it again. Okay. Where's your pen? Get ready to take notes. Okay, yeah, here. Where do you get those? On that day, the reason why I wasn't in the office studying the 8th major mathematical problem, was all related to the part-time job I was doing, which is volunteering. Is that really considered a job? Maybe for tax breaks, sure, but still. So answer me. Huh? Have you heard of the Crimson Ultra Realistic Robot Research Center? Yes. It's the top intelligent robots research institution across the country, right? Exactly. I'm a research consultant in the center. A research consultant? I see. For this year's Universal Games, the center has provided 2 intelligence robots for volunteer services, and I am the volunteer responsible for escorting the robots to the venue. I'm a volunteer of the Universal Games volunteers. That means I'm a volunteer of the Universal Games. Make sure to understand the logic here. Yes. Volunteer. Seems like Chief Thomas did provide evidence related to that. Here it is. So you used this to enter and exit the stadium, right? Correct. This is the one and only solution. According to your statement yesterday, you entered the stadium at 9 AM on the incident date to deliver the 2 robots, right? That's right, and the police officers responsible for a security check can prove that. I conducted initial testing on the 2 robots. By noon, I left the stadium. By noon. So it was precisely 12 o'clock, right? Let me see. Records show that you returned to the stadium at around 2:45 PM. May I ask what you did during this period? Is he gonna do that all the time? Personally, I wouldn't have it. But that's just me, you know? Isn't it obvious? I went to have lunch. For such a simple theorem, does it really require further deduction? Why did you take 3 hours for lunch? What a silly question. Teachers are humans. We need rest. Balance is key in all things. Without proper rest, even the strongest will crumble. Got it? Yes. Got it. So, after returning to the stadium at 2:45 PM, what did you do next? Ahem, Charlie. You still can't understand how tiring it is to run along a sine curve. Are you referring to the ups and downs of the event? I got it, I guess? You know, if he just keeps throwing chalk at me, I'm not sure whether to just let him rot in jail or to save him because of the fact that he just keeps a bunch of chalk in his pocket and uses it primarily to throw at you. And I'll just save him out of out of respect for that? I don't know, it's a strange sense of respect. Nonsense. I'm telling you to give me a break before next question. You forgot what I taught you in the blink of an eye. Copy it 30 times after class. Not again. Again? I remember now. Yesterday he punished me to copy dozens of function formulas. That's why I couldn't finish asking. Bruh. What is wrong with you? Sans, buddy. I think you should just rot in jail. I better ask something first. Feels like if I keep pressing, I'll end up being thrown more chalk. By the way, the reason I took on this case was because of my father's recommendation. I heard that you were comrades. Were you close? Close? Of course not. Of course not. More than that. More than that? We were comrades bound by life and death. You young folks wouldn't understand such things. Oh, you were soldiers. You're all too young. Too young, you know. Spoiled and naive. Yeah, without blood and sacrifice, for the older generation, we wouldn't be where we are today. So you and my father were in the same unit back then, right? What was his name? Of course. Sans? Did I say something wrong? Why did his face suddenly change? Is that what your father taught you? To pry into others' personal lives? No, I didn't mean it. He didn't. This time, I'll give you a lesson on his behalf. Don't ask about personal matters. Remember? Got it. I never really found out where Dad served. I heard it was not a famous unit. Why did he react so intensely when I mentioned it? Fine, it's not relevant to the case anyway. I'll ask Dad later. Intelligent robots, huh? Feel like quite the high-end thing. Oh, you think so? I saw them at the stadium during my investigation yesterday. So I had a brief observation. But not carefully. Is this topic too complicated? No, not at all. It seems you're quite interested. Well, not exactly. Anyway, it's fine if you're not comfortable discussing it. A teacher's duty is to impart knowledge. There's no discomfort. Then why do you look so serious? Shut up, phone. Here. Do you see those two things behind us? Yes. Some eerie green light are leaking from there. So they must be... Yep. They're the volunteer robots provided by the research center. So they were brought here, but why cover them with cloth? The appearance of the two robots are extremely lifelike. At first glance, they look just like real people. If not covered, they would scare passerbys to death. Huh, okay, makes sense. But since they're robots, they can move, right? No. The creator only perfected their appearance, but hasn't developed matching AI yet. Currently, the two can only play pre-recorded voice guidance and scan if you're sick or not. They can even diagnose. Huh, that's quite advanced. I really want to take a look. Wait, why did the two things end up here? Is your head just for decoration? Does that mean I should figure it out myself? I understand. They're evidence in the case. They were placed here because they're too large? Yeah. Looks like you're not that dumb. But they can only be considered as references. The official evidence has probably been taken by the prosecution. Well. Since they're evidence, I'm supposed to check them out now. Did I teach you to touch national top secret property without permission? sorry. I didn't even reach out my hand. But since you're so eager for knowledge, I promise, if you pass today's test, I'll make an exception and show you the robots. Really? Take it as a fee for the defense. No, don't mix them together. I got the basic background information. Can we continue discussing the case? Alright, time for class. So where were we? After 2:45, when you returned to the stadium. Yes, at that time, there were two entrances in front of me. The audience entrance and the staff entrance. In the case of scholarly rigor, I went for the staff entrance. He's a volunteer with credentials. It's natural for him to choose the staff entrance. Wait. Sans, may I interrupt? It's commendable for a student to interrupt the teacher to ask questions. What's yours? As far as I know, matches start at 2:30. Non-staff members were not allowed to enter the stadium freely, right? Good point, Charlie. But my role was to debug robots, which could be considered a type of on-site staff, so I was allowed to enter. Huh, I see. Once inside the stadium, I went straight through the iron gate on the right. Let me see. According to the plan, to the right after entering through the staff entrances. Yep. Hey, that's the athlete shower room! What were you doing over there? Respect the rules. Have you forgotten? In class, you raise your hand and shout, "Excuse me," to speak. Is this military training or class? Well, for my training, the one with the ex-commander, it was both. I got shouted at. Like, by an ex-commando. Everyone did. Considering as your first offense, I'll let it slide for now. So why did you enter through the iron gate then? In fact, I noticed the iron gate earlier, but it was locked in the morning. The key to learning is to double check, you know. I know. So what happened next? In the afternoon, I went to check it again. And it wasn't locked. Exactly. So I pushed the door and went in. And then the crime occurred. I'm a professor, not a prophet. How could I have predicted a murder case? I mean, if it's any consolation, the prophets can't see into the future either. I entered without hesitation, simply to unravel a puzzle. A puzzle? A puzzle? What puzzle? Don't interrupt. It's explaining time. Okay. Oh boy. When I saw the door labeled sauna, I felt a strong urge to take a look. The keen intuition cultivated by years of researching in math told me that the key to unlocking all puzzles were inside. Sorry to interrupt, Sans, but I have to ask something. What now? What you saw is sauna, right? Yes. It was the women's gymnastics individual all-around final held that day. As a volunteer at the venue, you must know that only female athletes present can use the sauna, right? Yes. Oh, okay. So the strong urge you mentioned refers to... Who's the teacher now? Are you teaching me what to do? No. Please continue. After these years of teaching, you're truly the worst student I ever had. I've heard that phrase so many times. So what do you mean by strong urge? The urge to survey the terrain. The terrain of the sauna? What's there to survey? Obviously the delicate the intricate walls. Yes, walls. Understand? Although I haven't been to the scene, I didn't see anything intricate about the walls in the photos. Oh, I have a headache all over my body. After teaching for so many years, I've never seen such a dumb student. How could you have a headache all over your body? Anyway, I got it. So you went to the sauna to peep, right? How could you call it peeping? Of course it was peeping. Why else would you go to the woman's sauna? Alright, I got this part. Please continue. Anyway, I pushed open the door and walked straight in. But I didn't expect that instead of the wonderful sight I imagined, what stood before me was, after the steam cleared, was a man. Another peeping Tom? I took a closer look, and it turned out he was a police officer. A police officer? Is he the victim of the case? Yes. So that's how he came across the victim. Without a word, he pulled out his pistol and pointed it at me, asking me to put my hands on my head and lie down. It was unbearable. I'd probably do the same if I were him. I was a bit panicked at the time. Just as I was at a loss, the officer suddenly coughed. So I took advantage of this increasing functional interval and rushed forward. With a single chop, I knocked his pistol away. Then we started grappling. Fortunately, having been in the army, I haven't lost my touch.
Wait a sec.
You said you knocked away his pistol with a single chop and then started grappling with him? Yes. Is that really too difficult to understand? No, it's not the concept, but your actions. Don't you realize I was attacking police? What's the big deal about attacking an officer? I suddenly feel dizzy. I don't think you need to be in court anymore. You're going to refuse my help and do the work yourself? Independence is commendable, but don't think it's so easy. No, I can't defend you at all. Is there any rational citizen who would attack an armed police officer? As an excellent former Special Forces soldier, how could I just sit back when the enemy had a pistol? But you're going to sit back and wait to be judged in the defendant's seat later, aren't you? Looking back now, the officer was pretty impressive. He fought for quite a while in the sauna and made a mess before I managed to grab his pistol. It was a pity that such an outstanding officer died. How dare you say that? It was you who started the fight. If my inference is correct, it was you who grabbed the victim's pistol and fired, right? I won't deny that. Honesty is an important quality for a role model. Hey, you originally planned to peep in there, so why do you have to kill the patrolling officer? Kill? You said I killed him, but you admitted you fired the pistol. So, is shooting equal to killing? Most of the time, yes? Not necessarily, but he died from being shot. Upon hearing the gunshot, I suddenly realized I wasn't a special forces soldier anymore, but a teacher. Luckily, the bullet didn't hit him. I've been handling guns before you were born, and I know that for sure. Are you suggesting that the officer was still alive after the gunshot? Well, in the spirit of scientific rigor, I can only say I don't know. Great job. You don't know? Yes, during our struggle, we knocked over a barrel full of water. I feel like that's been done before. The sauna was completely covered in steam, and I couldn't see anything when I pulled the trigger. Just like how I can't see Trials of Innocence on Steam anymore. The store page anyway. If not for that, the shot wouldn't have missed. So you mean that after firing the pistol, he didn't confirm whether he's alive or not? Exactly. With all that steam, I couldn't see anything. So that large barrel that fell over at the scene was kicked over during their struggle. And then what happened? After that, I was planning to return the way I came. But I was interrupted by a whole squad of police. Even though I can talk on 5 alone, and even though I can take on 5 alone, there were 12 of them. Okay. Seriously, you actually considered fighting all of them? So you claim you only committed peeping and attacking an officer, but no murder, right? The attack thing is true. As for peeping, I only saw one fully clothed man. How can you call it peeping? Logic of a scoundrel. Alright, Charlie, you've pretty much asked all you need, right? The class bell's about to ring. Your actions were just shocking. I'm speechless. Of course, being a role model means being an unforgettable impression on students. Don't take that as a compliment. The bailiff over there is waving us in. See you in court. Prepare yourself for battle. Don't let your teacher down. Dad, how can you set me up like this? What kind of client did you get for me? Why on earth am I defending this perverted lunatic who attacked a police officer without hesitation? Complaining won't change a damn thing. The authorization has been signed, and out of professional ethics, I must see it through. There's only a little time left. I should go over the case. The crime scene of this photo is in a sports facility called the Apex Legends, Stadium. The crime occurred during the Universal Games, specifically during the women's gymnastics individual all-around final. The defendant, Sans, as a volunteer, escorted 2 intelligent robots into the stadium at around 9:15. He left at around 12 p.m. and came back at 2:45 p.m. with an excuse to debug robots. And his plan was to peep in, and his actual purpose was to peep in the sauna. Then he met the victim who was somehow there, and they had a fight. In the end, Sans fired a shot at the victim and was seized by the police upon leaving the scene. So the situation looks pretty bad for us. Wait a minute, I found this at the scene yesterday. Due to malfunction of the heat dissipation system, the sauna was actually undergoing maintenance on the day of the incident. So it's unlikely that any female athletes would have been bathing inside. Sans really has bad luck. Wait, no, If the sauna couldn't be used, why would the victim, a police officer, go in there? The trial's about to begin, but I'm still confused. It's so frustrating. You, brat, you just look like you ate a fly. That's Chief Thomas. He looks like that one character from Pokemon Shield. Pokemon Sword and Shield. Oh boy. Whoa, Chief Thomas. When did you come in? Ha ha ha! Relax! How can I? How can a big guy like you walk so quietly? Huh. Observing others' movements is a necessary skill for a lawyer. You're still not there yet. Is it? Encountering such a tricky situation, yet he still laughs so heartily. He is Amun Thomas, the chief of Thomas and Drake Co., where I work. Chief Thomas' appearance, well, clients often say that he looks like a mafia boss. When it comes to work, he's actually a meticulous person. There's so much I can learn from this guy. Hey, why are you calling me this guy in your mind? Again in your mind? Really? Okay, sure. Hey, how can you even guess that? Huh, now it's not the time for chit-chat. I've already looked into the details of this case. You're in a tough spot, boy. Luck's not on your side. Then why are you laughing so heartily? But there's some good news. Your opponent today is a newcomer. The procuratorate entrusted such a big case to a newbie? I don't understand what they're thinking either. According to Thoth, that girl is his last student. Because the case is significant, he will stand alongside her at the prosecution seat. Wait, the Thoth you said? He means Thoth Schubert, right? Who else could it be? I understand having a newcomer, but Thoth Schubert is the chief prosecutor. In this city, the only one who can match him is our retired Master Hush. The case is already a mess, but I have to deal with two people at once. Can't you give me a hand? Come on, that's too much to ask. They haven't paid for two lawyers, so I'll just sit in the audience. Huh? Crush the young one with your extensive defense experience, then beat the old one with the youthful creativity. Wow, okay. Lazy. You're just lazy. Well, thinking about it this way, I'm sure you'll be fine. Come on, kid. I believe in you. It's not gonna be that easy. By the way, here's a piece of evidence I collected yesterday. You better put it away for now. Where did you find it? I got it yesterday at the stadium. But I went there with you. How come I didn't know when you got it? It was when you were focusing on the two robots. I had no choice about those. I have no clue about those high-tech gadgets. As I passed by locker number 26, I felt the urge to open it and take a look. Why was there a strong urge? And why locker number 26? Because I observed the stars the day before and noticed a chilling wind blowing along around the locker. Simply put, there was unnatural airflow around the locker? Chief's observation and perception skills are top-notch. There's probably something strange inside the locker. To get to the bottom of it, I just tore the locker open. Tore it open? The door required fingerprint verification and mine didn't work, so I had to resort to brute force. That's not the point! Chief, isn't that vandalism? And it was even at a crime scene. Don't worry, I'll handle that. What do you mean by that? Ha! Everything's set. It's getting late. If you're late, you're gonna embarrass the office. Get the hell inside. Ah well. Remember, keep your wits about you. Okay. Whew. Sometimes I really can't understand what Chief is thinking. A fingerprint combination lock with unnatural airflow. I don't know what I can do with it. Never mind. Time to brace myself and push forward. Since I'm stuck with the case, I got no choice but to give it my all. Let Prosecutor Schubert and the new guy see what a future top lawyer is made of.
好了，都肃静。那么，关于天虹体育场内刑警遇害一案，现在开庭。
辩护方已经准备完毕。
检控方也准备好了。
Oh my god. It's Stella Rain. I'm joking, I know who it is. So this is Prosecutor Schubert's last student, huh? Seems much younger than I imagined. Huh. To think that his son is just someone who simply doesn't give a crap in court or in life or anything.
根据各位提交的资料来看，辩护方是神龙律师事务所的荣秋风，而检控方这边，则是第一次上法庭的新人检察官雷东雪。那个，我确认一下，本场庭审的检察官真的是这位只有18岁的小姐吗？
Huh? 18 years old? Yes. Though she's young, she's already had... Yes. Though she's young, she already has a bachelor's degree and judged and passed the judicial exam with full marks. The procuratorate needs fresh blood like her. What she lacks is just practical experience and motivation. Today, I am merely her assistant. I hope you understand.
我明白了，本庭会期待这位新人的表现。既然这是雷检第一次出庭，按照惯例，我还是先问你几个简单的。
不需要。如此简单明确的案情和罪大恶极的嫌犯，多耽误1分钟也会令人不适。
Wow, talk about cockiness. Okay.
为了避免对面的律师盘算着什么花招，我还是直接做开庭陈述吧。
啊，也好。
Despite her young age, she might be a tough nut to crack.
那么，就请检控方开始吧。
On July 4th, during the world-class major event held at Apex Stadium, a horrifying incident occurred. This is so uncanny, but okay, moving on. I can't move on. What the hell? Is that supposed to be a star or a snowflake? Senior Detective Caliburn Stone, affiliated with the local criminal investigation bureau, was shot and killed at this stadium. Almost simultaneously, the police apprehended the fleeing suspect within the stadium. The suspect, Sands, is currently a professor at university. However, according to the prosecution's investigation, he had a period of military service. Although the military identification number could not be ascertained, it could demonstrate the defendant's capability to commit the crime. I mean, a lot of people can have the capability to commit the crime. Furthermore, based on ballistic analysis of the crime scene, the trajectory of the bullet matches the defendant's height. The key terms of this case are highly skilled, assaulting officers to seize firearms, fleeing, apprehended on the spot. To further elaborate, the outline of this case is clear. The facts are abundant and there's no room for dispute. That's all. Order. Order. Well. Is she really a newbie? This is gonna be tough. Oh boy. You might be screwed. Huh. That's a perfect prosecution statement. But on the incident day, the stadium was filled with tens of thousands of spectators, along with hundreds of staff and athletes. Why did the police only suspect the defendant? If you can't even understand something as simple as that, can you still call yourself a lawyer? Oh, I'm all ears. Yeah. Firstly, during the investigation, the defendant admitted to shooting the victim. Okay. Of course, the results of the gunpowder reaction test also confirmed it. Secondly, after receiving intelligence, the defendant went to the designated location and only found the defendant. Lastly, the defendant was in a state of extreme panic when fleeing. All these sussy behaviors indicate that he is the murderer. In conclusion, I hope Your Honor can make a decisive ruling and immediately pass judgment on the defendant.
Objection!
Well, Prosecutor Ray, no need to rush things. This case is significant and occurred at a sensitive time. Do you really want to seek a judgment based on a few statements? What do you mean by that? Are you questioning the credibility of the prosecution's investigation and evidence? Of course not. It's just that the defense also has some questions to ask. For example, you mentioned that the police found the defendant after receiving intelligence. So was the content of this intelligence? Brain? Also, as far as I know, the incident occurred inside the shower facility for female athletes. And the event held in the stadium that day was a women's competition. Nice. Leaving aside the defendants for now, why would the victim, a male police officer go to such a place?
Objection!
Are you implying some filthy topics? I won't allow you to insult. Calm down. His question is reasonable. See, listen to Virgil. I mean Thoth. He's kind of wearing something similar to Virgil. Fine. I believe the question I raised is also a doubt for many present here. Your Honor, what do you think? I also find this somewhat puzzling. Therefore, the defense requests to summon the police officer who participated in the arrest operation at the time to testify. As long as the process of the defendant's arrest can be explained in detail, many doubts will be resolved. What a nuisance. For the sake of the judge, I'll agree to it this time. The prosecution has prepared the most suitable witness for this matter. Can we proceed? Summoning a witness is a big deal. Do you need me to demonstrate? No need. If I can't handle even this, I wouldn't dare to stand here. I mean, that's nice and all, but show a bit of humility. And, I don't know, not be a prick. Mr. Drake, I'll give you a warning. After questioning this witness, you might cry your eyes out. Because you poke it? Or what? Or maybe you'll be the one crying after this. Is the witness an onion? Maybe. Well then, let the prosecution summon the witness. Damn. She looks like that. What's her name? Shoko from Jujutsu Kaisen? I forgot what her name is because I don't remember anyone's name. I haven't even cried yet. Why is the witness crying first? Witness, please state your name and occupation. Detective Sanford? Murderer! Eh? Yeah, what? Yeah, she's calling you the murderer. The case is solved. Luna arrested. He's the murderer! What's wrong with you? Why don't you lock him up? I mean, I don't think so. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Detective Sanford, the court is still in progress. Please remain calm. I'm sorry. I lost control again. Again? I don't think you're supposed to be doing that. I mean, you know, I don't think you're a detective, man. Is this the detective involved in the arrest? Is everything okay with her? Clearly not. It's okay. I'll ask again. Could you please introduce yourself? Okay. My name is Lily Sanford. I'm a detective at the local Criminal Investigation Bureau. Huh, okay. The victim, Cal, was my... Oh. Wait a minute. Hold on. If I remember right, I remember earlier in the story, Tessa, I mean, yeah, Luna said that she changed her name. Tessa changed her name. Yeah. Oh, okay. So this is just Tessa. Okay. Order. Order. So she's the widow of the victim. Prosecutor Ray, since you passed the judicial exam with full marks, you should be aware of the effectiveness of her testimony. Of course, according to Article 109, Paragraph 2 of the relevant legislation, testimony unfavorable to the defendant given by a witness with a conflict of interest must be carefully considered by the court. Detective Sanford, as the victim's widow, indeed meets this condition. Wow. To be able to recite such a long legal provision offhand, she truly deserves to be a top scorer in the judicial system exam. However, the victim and the witness were not only life partners, but also colleagues in work. In conclusion, no dating among colleagues. Especially if you're in the life-threatening jobs. On the day of the incident, they were both responsible for security at Apex Stadium and were familiar with the layout. Additionally, she was also involved in dispatching personnel and was one of the officers who apprehended the defendant. Logically and ethically, Detective Sanford's testimony holds significant value in court. Makes sense. The court will consider her testimony. Defense, do you have any objections? No. We also want to know the detailed process of the arrest. Perfect. One more thing. The witness is currently in extreme grief. I doubt the defense, being so rough and unsophisticated, would understand what it means to handle things delicately. Wow. Oh, Luna, you... Oh, you know what? Whatever. Your Honor, I request close supervision of his questioning. I haven't even said anything yet. Prosecutor Ray's proposal is reasonable. The court indeed needs to be mindful of the witness's emotions. Mr. Drake, did you hear that? If you put too much pressure on the witness, you'll face punishment. Understood. Well. I haven't even done anything yet, and she's already putting handcuffs on me. Looks like today's trial is bound to be extremely troublesome. So, Detective Sanford. Oh, man. Detective Sanford? It's your turn to testify. Oh, the murderer. There's no doubt it's him. It's him! This is not negotiable. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm just going through this a little. Yeah, I'm just curious. You know? Defendant, professor, yeah. Boss, yeah. Chief prosecutor, only chief, Luna Ray's teacher. Genius girl, youngest prosecutor. down. You may begin. The victim was a detective at the local Criminal Investigation Bureau, doing security work with me at Apex Stadium during the incident. The body was discovered in the sauna in the athlete's rest area. This is also where the incident occurred. Cal died from a gunshot wound in the right chest, and he had many other injuries on his body. The time of death, according to the investigation, it was between 2 and 4:48 p.m. The murder weapon was a police-issue pistol left at the crime scene, which belonged to Cal. The defendant must have snuck into the stadium during the chaos and committed the crime. Although the witness's emotions are unstable, her testimony is very clear and coherent. That's what we call professionalism. Here are Cal's autopsy report and the pistol found at the scene. Alright, accepted. Excessive bleeding, shot, and died instantly. Multiple bruises on the body. Model M9199 police pistol, caliber 12mm. Okay, serial number 106505, belonged to the victim. Caliber and stone. Fired twice. This is giving me deja vu. And another thing, this looks more like a revolver than a pistol. Okay. Finally, here's the evidence I couldn't obtain during the before the trial. Better look at it now. Huh. Detective Stone had multiple injuries from the struggle and died instantly after being shot. The pistol was fired twice. Again, deja vu. You know, this is really scratching a certain spot left by a certain ace attorney. Maybe the second bullet was taken by the murderer, you know? Yes, the police found another bullet embedded in the thick wooden door of the sauna. Okay, never mind. The second bullet was not taken by the killer. Okay. Fired by the murder weapon. The police found it in this wooden door. Oh, this must be the... Wait. Yeah, I remember Sands missed the shot. So the two shots hit the wooden door and the victim respectively. Thank you, Detective Sanford. You've been very helpful. But why did the victim end up in the sauna? The testimony still leaves this question unanswered. I'm not sure about it either. He's cheating on you. Huh? So his decision to go to the sauna was not part of the police's plan. The victim was an outstanding detective, and his duty that day was to ensure the security of the stadium. The defendant's entry into the athlete's rest area is highly sussy. We can infer it's highly likely that Detective Stone discovered the defendant's movements and went to intercept him. Indeed, That is the most reasonable speculation. Is that so? According to Sans, when he arrived at the sauna, he was already there waiting. Yeah. He discovered the defendant's movement and went to intercept him. Intercept can be done in many ways, you know. The stadium is vast. Why would Detective Stone be waiting in the place where no one should enter? In the sauna, the victim attempted to restrain the defendant, but faced brutal resistance. Your Honor, please take a look at this photo. It's a mess, and those traces can only be left by a struggle.
Wait a sec.
Prosecution, presenting this photo in front of the witness. Yeah, talk about sensitivity. And yet you do that kind of thing. Okay, very nice. Cow! Oh my god, I can't do this. Oh man. Oh no, it's too late. Murderer! You murderer! I'm not You're not what? You're not what? You're not intelligent? Is that it? You murderer! Even if I become a ghost in the afterlife, I won't let you off the hook. Order! Order! Prosecutor Ray, put away the photo now. I'm sorry, Detective Sanford. This is also for Detective Stone. Cow. Witness, I understand your emotions, but please, try to keep them under control. I wonder if Prosecutor Ray did it on purpose. Detective Sanford becomes so emotional after seeing the photo. Could she still answer my questions properly? Now, the defense may begin questioning. Okay, I'm 90% sure I know which one it is.
Objection.
I'm gonna go through the what's it called, the pressing. Oops, it was the autosave. Okay, from the beginning.
Wait a sec.
There's nothing to question. Huh? Only the man sitting in the defendant's seat has the suspicion of committing the crime. I mean, he has reason to go to jail. And heck, even in this case, he still has reason to go to jail. But not of murder, I think. And he attempted to flee the scene when he was arrested. I think he was planning to do a Zack Fair, Noble Six, Last Stand situation. There's absolutely no need for questioning my testimony. The murderer couldn't have been anyone else. Well... Wow, she's not even listening to what I'm saying. How am I supposed to continue questioning her? Better point out the most obvious contradiction first and get her to calm down.
Wait a sec.
There's nothing to question. Okay, never mind. Okay, considering what he said, it really does seem like it was designed to be designed to be easy on purpose.
Objection!
What? Witness, I can understand your feelings, and I hope you can relieve your sadness. However, your subjective testimony is causing us troubles.
Objection!
The witness is sad indeed, but her logic is much better than someone who only knows speaking nonsense to postpone the trial. Well, I also think the witness's testimony is quite reasonable. Huh, I doubt it. Look at this evidence. This is the access pass for the Universal Games, with the identity written as volunteer. It's issued by the Crimson Ultra-Realistic Robot Research Center, and its holder is the defendant, Sans. Oh boy. I'm sorry. We'll find who the killer is. Okay. We better. Witness, when you describe the defendant's actions, you claim that he snuck in during the chaos. But Sans, who holds a genuine and valid pass, could have entered through the staff entrance legitimately. Then why would he need to sneak in during the chaos? Well,
Objection!
It doesn't matter at all whether he snuck in or entered legitimately.
Objection!
On the contrary, as far as I know, the defendant entered the stadium at 2:45. If he did sneak in during the chaos, as Detective Sanford claimed, then which way was he going at the time? Why even bother to ask? The games inside officially started at 2:30. So at 2:45, most of the staff should have been in their positions. If there was any chaos, it would have been possible. What? Now you're following me. If he wanted to sneak in during the chaos, rushing towards the empty staff entrance wouldn't be a wise move. But if the defendant took the audience entrance, he would have arrived at the staircase to the second floor. The defendant could not go to the crime scene through this entrance at all. What's the matter, huh? Detective Sanford, as you were on duty at the scene of the crime and carried out the arrests, you should have been clear of all these. Why would you make such simple facts confusion in court? Sorry. Since I entered the courtroom, I've been a bit distracted, and just now, seeing my husband's photo, there was indeed some mistakes in my testimony. I got carried away. Order. Order! Sorry for the trouble I made. Luna, Witness, though I understand your sadness, you should be aware that this case is extremely important. If you can't testify truthfully, keeping you here might be troublesome for the court. I see. Without my husband, I really can't achieve anything. Maybe I'm not qualified to be a detective anymore. Detective Sanford? Yeah, look what you did. Heartless. It's turned into this after all, huh? Is there any way to keep her here? Cal, without you, I'm indeed incapable to fulfill. sorry. So that's what you wanted to be. Huh? You're aware of the peculiarities of this case. It's very likely that the court will issue a verdict directly today. Oh man, that's... Which means it's likely your only chance to testify for the case now. Since you really want your only testifying chance. So, you really want your only testifying chance to be like that. I see. Thank you, Mr. Schubert. Your Honor, I feel like I've calmed down now. Well, indeed, the older the wiser. But if she can testify rationally, it wouldn't be a bad thing for me. Are you ready? Yes, I'm ready. I won't let Cal die in vain, and I certainly won't tarnish my badge. Good. Prosecutor Ray, please be cautious when presenting evidence next time. It's all your fault. Before testifying, please allow me to correct the erroneous statement I made in haste earlier. Actually, I have a deep impression of the defendant, and he indeed didn't sneak into the stadium during the chaos. On that morning, he brought in 2 robots. I personally conducted the security check for him. I never thought that, in the afternoon, it was you who conducted the security check for the defendant? Did you find anything strange? No. He carried a few items with him, and there was nothing sus. The 2 robots he brought in had been dismantled and inspected before the Universal Games, and there were no issues. So...
Objection!
Are you suggesting that since the defendant didn't carry any weapons, it wasn't a premeditated crime? Well, don't you forget, the weapon was taken from the victim by the defendant. What's the point of dwelling on this issue? I was just asking out of caution. Also, I have a question about the autopsy report you just submitted. Is it updated? Please let it be updated. If it's not, I'll crash out. Why is the time of death such a peculiar number? The time, 4:48, is so accurate that it does seem odd. Because 2 p.m. was the time when all officers reported for duty. At the time, Cal was present and we all saw him. So, it's the last moment we can confirm Detective Stone was alive, right? 4:48 was the time his body was discovered. Can you guarantee the accuracy of the time? The discoverers were 2 athletes of different nationalities. They screamed the moment they saw the body. Police officers rushed to the scene within 10 seconds of hearing the scream, and that's the most accurate timing possible. I see. So the time of death was determined from when the victim was last seen alive and when the body was found. Yes. Cal died in an environment with abnormal temperature and humidity, which greatly interfered with forensic analysis. It might be more accurate to deduct this way. I see. Is there anything special about the weapon? It's Cal's service pistol. Pistol, really. You know what? Whatever. Model M9199, caliber 12mm, which is a standard firearm for security guards. pistol has quite a lethal force. The armament for international events is indeed extraordinary. After the incident, it was discarded at the scene. Due to prolonged exposure to hot steam, the fingerprints became unidentifiable. So the basic information about the case has been asked about, but still. Detective Sanford, I still have one question. The time the victim's body was discovered was 4:48, but my client entered the sauna before 3, and he was arrested by the police shortly after. If you didn't know that Detective Stone had already died back then, why did you arrest him? Does seem a bit strange. Detective Sanford, can you explain it? Explaining it is a bit tricky. Can I testify again? What do you both think? I summoned Detective Sanford to testify, so there's nothing to object. The defense has no objections either. Detective Sanford, can you please focus on your experiments on the day of the incident? There are few people who witnessed the entire incident, so your info is very important. I'll do my best. The gymnastics competition started on time at 2:30 p.m. and I was at the entrance overseeing security checks. About 15 minutes later, the defendant walked through the entrance. He seemed normal at the time. I was about to patrol the audience seats when I got an urgent report about a suspicious person at the emergency exit. I immediately called for backup, and by the time I arrived, a dozen officers had subdued the suspect. The person caught was exactly the defendant, Sans. I heard from the officers present that he was caught red-handed. I thought he was a peeping Tom, so I locked him in the car and drove him to the police station. For that, you are correct. But who would have known? Around 5 p.m. we heard the news of Cal's death. So you're saying the initial reason for arresting the defendant was peeping? Which was on the mark. You know, gotta give her credit. She was correct. Yes, because the report said that a sussy baka appeared in the emergency exit. At the time, I was in the audience, so I used the intercom to order nearby police to arrest the suspect and prevent his escape.
Wait a sec.
So the time when the defendant was arrested, nobody knew that Detective Stone had been killed. That's right. We didn't expect someone to be so bold to do such a thing right under our noses. When I heard about Cal's death, I was still at the police station interrogating the defendant about his peeping. Unbelievable. As a university professor, the defendant would commit such a heinous act as peeping. I think murder is more heinous than peeping. However, since he didn't know the victim had been killed when the defendant was arrested, why was he accused of being the killer? Your Honor, hadn't you figured out such a simple matter yet? Wow. Oh? The time the body was discovered and the time of death are two different matters. The situation of the case is clear. The defendant, Sans, is most likely caught peeping by patrolling Detective Stone. In order not to be exposed, he cruelly killed Detective Stone and prepared to escape. But he didn't anticipate that his whereabouts had already been exposed before the crime. It was Detective Sanford who made a quick move to call for backup so that he was caught. I see. That's the most reasonable situation. Well then, since Detective Sanford has finished her testimony, please allow her to go back and have a good rest.
Wait a sec.
Whoa, I haven't even started questioning. Huh, you're really annoying. Make it quick. She's so impatient. Seems like she doesn't want me to dig deeper into Detective Sanford's testimony. Since Detective Sanford is stable now, I can't miss the opportunity. Defendant, please proceed with your questioning.
Wait a sec.
According to your plan, where should Detective Stone be stationed after the competition started? Both Cal and I didn't have fixed positions. They are the chief commanders, so they can move freely. Then why did you stay at the entrance to supervise the security check? Was there any abnormality? I heard that a pregnant audience encountered some troubles at the security check, so I went there to check. But when I got there, the trouble had already been resolved. But still, I decided to stay there for a while. Was it the moment when the defendant came to the entrance? Yes.
Wait a sec.
How was the defendant when you caught him? He was firmly pinned to the ground, and he was incredibly strong and resisted the whole time. So it took the officers lots of efforts to control him. Indeed a troublesome and vicious criminal. I agree. You mentioned that the officers at the scene said he was caught red-handed. What does that mean? It means the defendant was caught attempting to escape while peeping, so he had no excuse to deny.
Wait a sec.
What do you mean by normal? He had come in the morning. We had carefully inspected his belongings then, and didn't find anything unusual. The result was the same this time. Also, his certification was genuine and valid, so we have no reason to stop him. Huh. What was his reason for entering the stadium this time? As I remember, he said he needed to adjust the 2 robots he brought in the morning. Yeah, it's consistent with what I knew before the trial.
Wait a sec.
Did you personally escort the defendant? Yes, a peeping Tom at the stadium is a very serious situation, so we immediately handed over my duty on site, and then personally brought him back to the police station. How far is the police station from the stadium? Only 7 kilometers. I turned on the siren and didn't stop the whole way, so we arrived quickly. Huh. Sans seems like a decent person on the appearance, but actually a perverted old man inside. It really is unbelievable.
Objection!
What? I haven't even said anything yet. I heard of several cases of university professors committing murders. Peeping is nothing compared to murders. How would she know what I'm thinking? Everyone here's a psychic, I guess.
Wait a sec.
Could you repeat the content of the emergency report? I heard this through the intercom. It should be like there's a peeping Tom escaping at the emergency exit. Catch him. Your repetition is quite vivid. The speech in the report was very fast, so I knew it was urgent at the time. And since I was on the second floor, it would be too late for me to rush over there. So I switched to the general channel and announced it to all officers and asked everyone nearby to rush over there. According to the defendant, there were 12 officers rushing there immediately, with terrifying speed. So you received a report from an officer first, and then immediately notified all officers, correct? Yes. And who was the person who reported to you? Although I'm not 100% sure, I think it was Cal. You mean Detective Stone? This is very important information. Please add it to your testimony. Oh boy. This is okay. The emergency report was from Cal. He said there's a peeping Tom escaping to the emergency exit. Catch him.
Wait a sec.
Voice on the intercom often quite differs from the real, and the scene was noisy. Could you be sure it was him? I'm sure. I wouldn't mistake Cal's voice in any situation. Why didn't you tell us this important info from the beginning? I just can't believe that. Oh boy. Okay. What? Can't believe that it was the last time you heard from her beloved. Can't you even understand that? I see. You don't even understand basic emotions, yet you called yourself a lawyer. You really need to go back to school and learn. How am I supposed to learn about that? By watching soap operas? So, apart from it, did Detective Stone say anything else? Only those words. After arresting the suspect, didn't you go to check on his condition? Cal and I grew up since childhood. There's a lot of consensus between us. I didn't see him when we caught the defendant, so I assumed he had gone to investigate the suspect's trespassing route. I just informed him through the intercom that we caught the person and didn't pay any more attention. If at the time I could have...
Objection!
Defense, what are you doing? The defense has finally calmed down and you're stimulating her again. You started it. Bitch. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. It won't happen again, I promise. But could Detective Stone really have issued such an emergency report in that situation?
Wait a sec.
Did you get the information right after the body was discovered? At the time, the gym's competition just ended. I was tired after being busy all day. At noon, Cal and I talked about that we would have to... Man, I'm so fried. Cal and I talked about that we would go to have some burgers at work. Okay, am I fried or is the sentence just like that? I don't know. Hold it. Let's talk about the defendant. Did you inform him that the body has been discovered? He just kept repeating that he didn't know that the officer was already dead. Considering the situation at the scene, it's possible that that Sands didn't know that Detective Stone was dead. But I can't argue just based on it. It's not enough. It seems that Detective Sanford is completely stable now. The testimony just now should be nothing but facts. And because of that, if there are still contradictions, they might be my breakthrough. I should carefully continue my questioning and then check the evidence I have to counterattack.
Objection!
Detective Sanford, let me confirm again. Was the voice from the intercom really Detective Stone's, and is the autopsy report updated? Oh, of course. What's wrong? Unfortunately, considering the situation of the crime, it's impossible. Huh? The autopsy report states very clearly the victim died immediately after being shot. He couldn't have reported after being shot.
Objection!
There's no evidence showing that Detective Stone reported after being shot. He could have called for help during the confrontation with the defendant.
Objection!
The report repeated by Detective Sanford earlier was there was a peeping Tom escaping in the emergency exit. Catch him. If they were still confronting at the time, how could Detective Stone have described the defendant as escaping? Ha! Gotcha. Future protagonist. Are you saying that I misheard? It's just a possibility. It's absolutely impossible. Kyle's voice is so warm. I wouldn't mistake it no matter what. From the beginning of the trial till now, all evidence and testimony points to the defendant being the murderer. Detective Sanford's testimony earlier seemed to be freshly new to the prosecutor too. If I want to find a breakthrough, it's now or never. The victim's last words for help through the intercom is indeed very important info. I think both of you should provide a reasonable explanation. The prosecution believes that Detective Sanford wouldn't mistake the voice of someone who worked and lived with her every day. Is the defense picking up any details now? You should ask for his opinion. I see. Defense, what do you think? Regarding the call for help from Detective Stone, here's my idea. If Detective Sanford didn't mishear, the only possibility would be, after being shot by the defendant, he was still alive. Huh? Order. Order!
Objection!
Are you out of your damn mind? You just presented the autopsy report that clearly states he died after being shot. There's no way such a crucial detail could have been overlooked at the forensics examination.
Objection!
It's true Detective Stone died immediately after being shot. But was the bullet that took his life really fired by the defendant?
Objection!
The defendant admitted to shooting at Detective Stone, and traces of gunpowder were found on his hands. After that, Detective Stone died in the room where the defendant shot at him. Faced with such solid evidence, your argument is simply ludicrous.
Objection!
Ludicrous? I don't think so. There's a possibility that after the defendant fired, the victim was still alive. Yes, if the bullet fired by the defendant didn't hit the victim, everything makes sense. The evidence that can prove the possibility is...
Take this!
Is it a bullet? Yes. The bullet was found by the police on the wooden door in the sauna. Detective Stone only had one gunshot wound on his body. I believe he died immediately after being shot. However, is the bullet that hit him really fired by the defendant? What do you mean? According to the defendant's confession, he shot once, then immediately threw the weapon away and fled. Based on the existing evidence, it still makes sense that the shot only hit the wooden door. Wait, if the defendant only shot at the wooden door, then why would Detective Stone die? It's just a preliminary assumption, from the defendant leaving the scene to Detective Stone's body being discovered. There's quite a long time, huh? During which no one knows what happened. What if a third party happened to arrive at the scene at the time, picked up the gun, and boom! Order. Order!
Objection!
The defendant claims to have fired only one shot. That's his own story. How do you know if the two bullets found at the scene were both from him? The police didn't detect any traces of gunpowder on anyone other than him.
Objection!
Gunpowder reaction isn't a reliable detection method anyway. It can be easily removed by taking a bath and changing clothes.
Objection!
Don't try to intimidate me with those forensic common sense. The police sealed off the scene immediately after the body was found. Under such circumstances, nobody had the opportunity to bathe or change clothes under their noses.
Objection!
Have you forgotten? On the day of the incident, there was a gymnastics competition held in the stadium. It's only natural for each athlete to take off the uniforms and take a shower afterwards. The police had no reason to intervene. It's simply sophistry. Order. Order! Mr. Drake, are you accusing the athletes who participated in the competition? No, I'm just stating a possibility. And the prosecution can't deny the possibility, right? You know the athletes participating in the competition come from all over the world, some even without diplomatic ties to ours. If they are involved in the case, the situation will be unimaginably complicated. Nevertheless, it's a homicide case, and the victim was a member of the police force. No matter how troublesome it may be, we have no reason to stop investigating, right? The court will never overlook significant facts merely because of procedural complexities. Good. In that case, the defense requests an immediate adjournment today. We need to thoroughly investigate all the athletes who participated in the competition that day before we can proceed. Wait. I almost forgot about him. Prosecutor Schubert, do you have any ideas? Oh. Okay, I'm back. Okay, nope, the song is taking me away again. Oh. Okay, I'm back. Since the defendant had shot with when the victim made a call on the intercom, Detective Stone wasn't shot dead by the defendant. Therefore, the defendant was innocent. Young man, is this what you wanted to say? Yes? Then may I suggest another possibility? Sure. Perhaps what happened earlier is indeed, as you said, the defendant shot at the wooden door and Detective Stone called for help. However, if at the moment the defendant didn't run far and heard Detective Stone call for help, what would the audacious criminal do after he attacked the police officer and had his appearance known. Are you suggesting he went back to finish the job? I didn't say that. You did. If an athlete wanted to commit a crime, they had to leave the team without permission and bypass a lot of cameras. The police had thoroughly checked the footage on that day and didn't find any sussy bakas. In addition, the participants of the competition are all slender women. Whether they can handle this not so small caliber police pistol is also a question. Compared to your previous assumption, perhaps it's more convincing to assume that the defendants fired 2 shots. Am I right? It's irrefutable. Order. Prosecutor Schubert, your words have enlightened me. In that case, blindly investigating the athletes seemed unnecessary. As expected, experienced one is difficult to deal with. The breakthrough I finally found has been blocked. Given the seriousness of this case, the prosecution does not intend to request a verdict based on such ambiguous situation. We have someone to testify whether the defendant caused Detective Stone's death. Huh? Luna, what are you standing there for? Eh? Oh, right. The prosecution requests to summon the next witness to testify. The eyewitness will completely crush all the witnesses' sophistry. There's an eyewitness? Oh, so there's an eyewitness. Bring him in now. Hey, it's you. Huh. Whoa, so this is a courtroom? It's my first time here and I'm really nervous, yet so excited. So this is the eyewitness for the case. Have we met before? You're like a creepier version of that sleazy man. What? What? A creepy 50-year-old man is so terrifying.
Objection.
I'm not creepy at all. I'm not even 30. Even more terrifying. Wait, what am I objecting to? But you know, you've got a good expression. Come on, say cheese. Add brilliance to my correspondent journal. Witness, cameras are not permitted in the courtroom. Bay leaf. No way, it's more important than my life. Wherever my camera goes, I go. Into the trash. As you can see, if we take away his camera, he'll refuse to testify. Although it's unreasonable, could you please accommodate? What a witness. Now, witness. Oh, the girl here looks intelligent. Much more reliable than the creepy old man there. Come, say cheese. Oh, okay. You're just posing for him now. Witness, be serious in court. Sorry. Was that an illusion? Sure, she tried to peek at the photo just taken. As you can see, the witness is Alex Song, a college student. For now. In fact, I'm a top-notch student majoring in photography for Rockhart College. But just wait, I'm going to be a war correspondent full of justice. Good luck. My goal is to be active on the front line at all times, wielding my sword as a photographer. to eliminate the ugliness and evil in the world and rebuild trust between people. Come on, say cheese! Don't take my photo. I'm not the ugliness and evil. Such a peculiar witness. According to the prosecution, you witnessed the process of the incident. Exactly. With these sharp eyes that only photographers possess, I saw everything. Look, here's the evidence. Evidence? Did you capture the decisive moment of the case? What's this? This dirty, messy, and dark scene doesn't look like a crime scene at all. Prosecutor Ray, are you sure you got the right person? Ahem. I will provide explanations regarding the witness's fragmented testimony. The witness was hiding in the stockroom next to the sauna before the incident occurred. I didn't expect him to be in that position. Mr. Song is probably the closest person to the crime scene, besides the defendant and the victim. And that is the photo he took of his hiding place. The photo? I can hardly see anything except for the slightly damaged balance beam. Witness, did you take the photo with your camera? How come the resolution is so low? Actually, no. Didn't you say wherever you go, your camera goes? Well, I arrived at the stadium early in the morning to take pictures of those handsome police officers. And then I got caught and scolded by the detective lady, and my camera was temporarily confiscated. The photo was taken with my $20 knockoff phone. 20? Taking photos of cops at such a significant event? You deserve to have your camera confiscated. As for the photo, I have no idea if it's useful. Just keep it for now. I have another question. The witness doesn't look like an athlete or a staff member of the stadium. What is he doing in the stockroom? It's a long story. Let him explain it himself. Witness, tell us. What did you do about the case? Of course, the decisive moment. Then please, tell us about what you witnessed. It's finally my turn. Anyways, what I say is definitely the truth, so listen carefully. The reason why I went to the stadium that day is simple. I wanted to take photos of the two magical beauty robots. Before the competition, I snuck into the side passage during the chaos and found a stockroom. I thought there would be robots inside, but I didn't find them, so I decided to stay there and take a break. Around 2:45, I heard footsteps outside and I saw a figure quickly passing by through the crack of the door. Wait, what is the evidence he presented? I immediately opened the door and followed, and just happened to see the old man's back at the door of the sauna. He raised a pistol and shot at a police officer. There was blood splattering and the officer fell to the ground. The old man turned and ran, and I was afraid he'd spot me, so I quickly ducked into the side. He just ran past me. I kept following the villain and then witnessed him being pinned down by a dozen police officers on the ground. Order. Order! My god. How come there's such an eyewitness? I knew nothing about it. The testimony is indeed crucial and very specific. If it holds true, I believe it would be reasonable to pronounce the verdict immediately.
Objection!
Your Honor, while the testimony is crucial, the witness is highly sus. According to his testimony, he managed to sneak past the security and entered an area he shouldn't have. That's true. Witness, how did you get into the stadium? Well, at the time, some spectators were entering, and I had a ticket, so I joined the line. Then suddenly there was a pregnant lady shouting, I'm going into labor! And then all the staff and police near the entrance rushed over. Chaos ensued. So I seized the opportunity and snuck through the side door. What a coincidence. Going into labor just at that moment? Indeed, it's in the police report. Around 2 p.m. that day, there was a pregnant woman who was about to give birth at the stadium entrance. Detective Sanford mentioned that too. And then, how was her? Yeah, how was her? I don't know. Several staff took her to the hospital, only to find that she had just eaten too much spicy fish soup. Is it okay to eat such spicy food when pregnant? No. What an unexpected turn of events. And who can explain what the magical beauty robots are? The 2 robots belong to the Crimson Ultra Realistic Robot Research Center and were exhibits of the Universal Games. And the defendant came to the stadium to transport the 2 robots. I still have no idea what they are. It doesn't matter. Anyways, the witness's testimony is quite clear. It's beyond doubt that Detective Stone was killed by the defendant. Your Honor, what are we waiting for? Well, I also want to believe the testimony clearly describes the defendant's act of murder. What do you think, defense? The testimony. If I can't find any flaws, that'll be a big problem. We believe it's too early to conclude now. Please allow me to question first. Understood. Please continue.
Wait a sec.
So, from the beginning, you went to the stadium for the 2 robots. No, really. I got my ticket free, and initially, I just wanted to watch the games and take some photos. After all, it's an international event. Maybe I would stumble upon some big news. Well, you certainly did. So, when did you arrive at the stadium? The competitions didn't start until the afternoon, but I went there at about 9. I wanted to capture the atmosphere of tight security with my camera, but then it got confiscated by the detective lady. As I was about to leave, I saw a man in his 50s carrying 2 young girls. When I realized they might be robots, I was deeply fascinated. He's not lying. The time the defendant transported the 2 robots were also around 9. What is so fascinating about those plastic toys that can barely even turn their heads? Your knowledge of robots is still stuck 2 centuries ago. I can't explain it to you then. Wow, okay. 2 centuries ago was during the Industrial Revolution. There were no robots back then. That's his point.
Wait a sec.
Let me confirm. By old man, you mean the defendant? Yeah. There are only 3 men in the courtroom. The defendant, judge, and you. Obviously, I made the defendant. Am I really old enough to be compared to them? how was he at the moment? How else could it be? He adjusted his cyberware, opened his Sandevis stand, and grabbed a DS1 pulsar to charge in. Is this a cyberpunk reference? Okay, it is. What are you talking about? Cyberpunk 2077. You know? Night City. The city built on broken dreams, fueled by broken spirits. Oh, I might have exaggerated a bit. No big deal. This is more than just exaggerating a bit.
Wait a sec.
Do you remember the specific time you entered the stockroom? Not really. I think around 1:30. I just finished a roast duck, feeling energetic and ready to hunt for big news. Understand how you entered the staff entrance, but how did you get to the stockroom? Simple. I remember there was an iron gate at the right side of the entrance, right? Remember? Since I was stuck in during the chaos, I didn't plan my route ahead, so just pushed the door casually. Luckily the gate wasn't locked, so I just pushed it in and got in. Huh, it was already open? Yeah, I was so lucky. The gate was in such a crucial location. How did the police really just leave it open like that?
Wait a sec.
Is this the decisive moment you saw? Yes, it was heart-pounding. My correspondent spirit was thoroughly ignited. Could you please describe the situation in detail? Sure thing. Good stories need a bit of embellishment. Not for embellishment. You better not. Defense, I'd like to hear his story. Hold off for a moment. Are you serious? The old man in red stood with legs apart, adopting a standard stance with a knife in his left hand and a sword in his right. So the defendant used the Spartan strategy. I mean, he was holding a pistol, kind of in a target-orientated position. Then I looked through the grim muzzle and saw the embodiment of justice, a police officer cornered. That's justice? That's the embodiment of justice? Just at the moment I suddenly heard what? A sound that could drown out the cheers of the spectators. There was blood splattering, and the officer fell to the ground. What a heroic sacrifice. Order! Order! The witness's description is odd, but the sound was obviously a gunshot. The fact is clear, though I would appreciate it if he could remove those sensational descriptions. I agree. But then again, could the witness really see such a scene on sight?
Wait a sec.
Since you were so determined to find the robots, why did you suddenly decide to take a break inside? Because I wasn't feeling well. It was like gathering a team of 4 to rob a bank and then suddenly the vehicle explodes? What is this, GTA? I have no idea what he's talking about. If you really want to be a correspondent, don't you think it's against the spirit of journalism to give up easily? Before I became a correspondent, I was a gentleman. Even with the dedication to comprehensive reporting, I wouldn't just barge into places full of female athletes. Like the showers or sauna. Huh. No one showed you the stadium plan, right? How did you know there were showers and saunas? Well, I swear that I never had the idea of sneaking in to peep. It's out of curiosity that I glanced into every room. Just a glance. Wow, his mouth is too easy to pry open. So, how did you find anything when you glanced in? Nothing. Only once I found out those rooms were for bathing, I immediately got the hell out of there. What if I actually saw something? How could I explain that? If you did see something, you're not the one who should be worried about how to explain it. Did I do this one?
Wait a sec.
Oh yeah, I did. Oops.
Wait a sec.
How was the defendant at the time? He was rushing towards the iron gate like he was in the blue zone. And then winner, winner, chicken dinner. Okay. Can you describe it in a language we understand? Can you play video games? Well, actually I didn't take a good look. Did you check on the police officer's condition? How could I? The gunshot scared the life out of me. It's too dangerous to check the shooting scene. And then did you decide to follow the man who just fired a pistol without hesitation? And then you decided to do that. It's even more dangerous. I really felt like that. Suddenly feeling so frightened. Your reaction is way too slow.
Wait a sec.
When you saw the figure, were you able to tell who it was? Absolutely. As a seasoned correspondent, my brain can print out every scene I witnessed with pinpoint accuracy. Is there an ink cartridge in your brain? Besides, I've seen that old man with two robots before. The red shirt, silver hair, weird glasses, and that creepy expression. No mistaking it. Huh, that's him, alright. But when the defendant walked past, did he notice you hiding behind the door? No, he seemed pretty rushed and didn't glance my way. When I saw him, I was itching to chase after and ask where he hid the robots. Then why didn't you? I wanted to, but as soon as I did, I witnessed the most shocking scene. What did you see? The judge suddenly got excited again as if he heard the climax of the story. The decisive moment. So horrible.
Wait a sec.
When the police pinned him down, he just stood there, watching. Yes, to prevent the cops from thinking I'm his accomplice, I made a split-second decision. I stepped forward and declared myself a witness in the breaking news. This guy has his wits about him every now and then. If he hadn't done that, he probably would have been pinned down too. Then they took me to the police station for a statement. Oh, what a heroic act. From here on, the witness's testimony is corroborated by police personnel. Do you intend to continue questioning? Indeed. At the moment he followed the defendant out, he could have been seen by a dozen officers. So if there's something wrong with his testimony, it must have occurred before that. If he's telling the truth, the defendant is the murderer undoubtedly. Although Sands may have lied, the witness seems more unreliable. Just like some unqualified journalists, he might exaggerate and fabricate some things in his testimony. With such a situation in his testimony, which situation is impossible to witness?
Objection.
Ha! Too easy. Nah, I actually spent like 10 minutes on this. Witness, when you were describing the moment of the crime, you said he raised a pistol and shot at the police officer. There was blood splattering and the blood fell to the ground. Did you really see it? Of course! That old man was really terrifying! My vision is 20/20 with glasses. I captured the scene clearly. Unfortunately, that's impossible. Why? Please look at the piece of evidence. This is a notice. Yes, according to the notice, on the day of the crime, the heat dissipation system in the sauna had a serious malfunction. And according to the defendant, the entire room was filled with thick steam. The visibility is really poor. Heh. Speaking of Steam, Trials of Innocence ain't on Steam anymore. As of this moment, anyway. Is that so? Yeah, believe me, bro. I mean, it was. It's not anymore. Like, search it. I wonder if it's back on, actually. No, it's not. I actually have a link in the the description. I have a link in the description for the store page of Trials of Innocence. It doesn't work anymore. Trust, bro. The defendant couldn't even tell if Detective Stone was alive in the dense steam. But you claimed to have witnessed the crime clearly and even remember the details. Did your glasses come with an infrared detector? Maybe his eyes did. You're really horrible! To be honest, if a lawyer said that to me, I'd be pissed too.
Objection!
It's true that the heat dissipation system in the sauna had a malfunction, but that doesn't mean it was full of steam. If you've been in a sauna, you know that there wouldn't be any steam unless water was poured onto the charcoal.
Objection!
I haven't been in a sauna, but I know the principle. I suppose. You sound uncertain. You sound unmotivated. But then, well, indeed, the malfunction in the system was not enough to determine the condition of the room. A loading screen? Oh, okay. However, this piece of evidence can prove that there was most likely a significant amount of steam in the sauna. Yes, I definitely know.
Take this.
Is this a wooden barrel? Barrels! Oh man. Remember that time when PewDiePie hated barrels? I miss those times. Okay, where was I? Barrels. They're almost as bad as the clankers. Yes, to be more precise, it is a bathing tool in the sauna. Prosecutor Ray, you said that there won't be any steam as long as water is not poured onto the charcoal. However, the barrel happened to be kicked over when the defendant was fighting for his goddamn life. If you look closely, you can even find that there's still water inside and a shoe print outside. Oh, indeed. It can be inferred that when they were fighting, the barrel filled with water was kicked over. What if all the water was poured onto the charcoal, huh? Since the heat dissipation system was broken, the steam would quickly obstruct the visibility, right? Ha ha! Gotcha! So the point is, what's the real story behind your testimony, witness? Is that your panic response to everything? I mean, that's actually pretty good, to be honest. You're a photographer through and through. You deserve that camera. You deserve a more expensive one. But no one ain't gonna buy it for you, bro. Get it yourself. I just wanted to be a brave photojournalist. How are all of you focusing on these trivial details? I mean, why are all you doing that? Witness, explain yourself. Wow. Don't you know the consequence of giving false testimony? You're all so scary. I confess. The sauna, as you said, was filled with steam. I didn't see anything at all. What? What? Order. Order! Witness, what happened on Earth? Explain it now. That terrifying scene. If I really saw it, I would definitely have been scared out of my wits and run away. So you didn't witness the victim being shot by the defendant? Oh boy. Yes. Although I did manage to peek through the door crack and saw the defendant's back vaguely, I hesitated for a long time in the stockroom before going over. It was after a loud sound that I saw him. So you mean when you arrived at the sauna, the shooting had already happened? Yes, I watched a lot of police action movies, so I'm sure that was the sound of a gunshot. The next day, I heard a police officer had been killed inside, and then I realized I had experienced something extraordinary. Oh boy. Witnessing a murder and reporting a big story. Isn't that cool? So I imagined something based on the information revealed by the police. I don't know what the defendant was doing in the room, but since there was a gunshot, he must be the killer, right? Ah! So you weren't testifying the truth, you were testifying your delulu. Nice. Also, you might be charged with perjury, I'm just saying. Good luck. Maybe that's why he hates lawyers. Because he testified his delulu instead of the truth. Why is everyone silent? Say something! Order. Order! I am speechless. Prosecutor Ray, arrange for a court bailiff to send the witness away. Huh, I'm about to do that. You look so smug. But like, he is a shit witness. He didn't even witness it. You have really made me lose face. I'm really sorry. I won't do that anymore. I just remember that I have a paper to write. I need to head back now.
Wait a sec.
What else is there? Man, he really just disappeared like that, you know? I swear! I told you everything I know! It's all truth! Yeah, man. It is. Sure. It seems he's too afraid to make up bullshit anymore. In that case, witness, I have no intention of further accusations, but there is one thing I must clarify. According to your statement, you were hiding in the stockroom all the time before the incident. It was only after a loud sound that you peeked into the sauna. Then the defendant ran out from the sauna and was apprehended by the police, right? That's right. I'm not lying at all this time. I only tell my personal experience.
Objection!
Such information is practically useless. Continuing to question is a waste of time.
Objection!
A waste of time, huh? I don't think so. The information the witness just revealed actually reveals a major contradiction. Huh? The evidence that contradicts his testimony is...
Take this.
Witness, answer me. After the defendant headed towards the sauna, you heard only one loud sound, right? Yeah. With such a loud sound, if there had been more than one, only a deaf person would have missed it. He's just mogging, bro. In that case, something would be strange. Your Honor, look at this. According to the police investigation, the murder weapon, a pistol, was fired twice on that day of the incident. Indeed, but so what? The prosecution argued that the defendant might have returned and fired again after hearing Detective Stone's call for help. And we already confirmed that the witness arrived at the scene before the incident. However, until the defendant was apprehended by the police, the witness only heard one gunshot. Isn't that a huge contradiction? Order! Order! Why is that?
Objection!
There was a sports event in the stadium that day. Noisy broadcasts and cheers never stopped. In such a situation, it's most likely for the witness to have missed one gunshot. About that. No. The soundproofing between the passage and the playing field was very good, and the shooting location was right next door. I could even hear the defendant's footsteps. How could I have missed a gunshot? You idiot! Why did you become so horrible too? I lied in my testimony, but I realized my mistake after you scolded me. I swear on all my things with lenses that I'm telling the truth. I mean, it's basically your life, so I'll take it. I believe in such a case, the witness wouldn't continue spouting nonsense.
Objection!
So, the defendant could have somehow eliminated the sound of the second gunshot. The defendant served in the military. It must be a piece of cake for him to get a silencer.
Objection!
Do you think a silencer is as easy to obtain as a burger? The murder weapon in this case was snatched by the defendant on site. How could he have prepared a matching silencer in advance? Whew, barely made it. What? What is this? What is this melody? Oh man. You know, I was waiting for Payday to buy the soundtrack. Now I can't buy the soundtrack. Fuck. I failed you guys. I failed you, composer. He was definitely lied to. No freaking way. No freaking way. Your Honor, considering the various pieces of various information presented in court just now, this case is becoming more complicated. It is highly likely that the victim was still alive when the defendant was apprehended by the police. Given the witness, Alex Song, only heard one gunshot, it is very likely that someone else fired the second shot. Why do they just keep showing him mugging? He doesn't say a goddamn word. He just said and then that's it. For like the past few times the game showed us thoughts. Who the fuck is honking right now? I'm not on the road. From the moment the defendant was apprehended to when Detective Stone's body was discovered, there was a gap of about 2 hours. During the time, anyone could have been to the crime scene. Who could have been at the crime scene is a potential suspect. Due to the lack of investigation, we are unable to identify this person. But no matter how, the prosecution claims that the defendant is the only suspect no longer holds water. Like the barrel. What do you think, Your Honor? In the first few minutes of the trial, I thought it was an open and shut case. But with Mr. Drake's analysis and Luna Ray's idiocy, I believe that there are indeed many doubtful points. It is inappropriate to rush through and conclude it in just one day. You dirty bad hat! Bad hat? Calm down. The lawyer is not easy to deal with. Don't push yourself so hard. Just give him one more day. But why? Whatever. I see. Well, I summarize the court's opinion. First of all, the defense raised reasonable doubts, but they need to be perfected. Yes. Perfected, sure. You have to find evidence to prove the existence of the other possible suspects. Indeed, some loopholes are found by the defense in the prosecution's arguments. But we must acknowledge that the defendant is still the most sussy baka before new developments emerge from the investigation. Therefore, the court decides to adjourn and await further investigations from both sides. I assume both parties have no objections, correct? The defense has no objections. The prosecution agrees on your decision. In that case, I declare... Wait, please, Your Honor! Oh, it's... who was that? I don't know. It was me. Detective Sanford, why are you back? Your Honor, please don't be misled by that goddamn lawyer. The scoundrel in the defendant's seat is undoubtedly the murderer. Yeah, he's just there now. You know, he's... Why is he just smiling? Detective Sanford, why do you... I just got a message from the police station. They received a timed email from Cal this morning. An email? From the victim? Yes, there's a video inside. The police were hesitant to submit it before the authenticity is confirmed. But just now, we had authenticated the video. It is absolutely genuine and reliable. The video contains something highly relevant to the case, so I hastened here with it. What's in the video? I brought a playback device. See it for yourself. I believe after watching it, you would never let that villain go. That is indeed an unexpected turn. Since the police have authenticated it, it's a legitimate and compliant piece of evidence. advice. Come on, place in court. Just a few minutes ago, I was reveling in my success of dominating 2 prosecutors. I even had an illusion that no matter what the video contained, I would be able to find flaws and counterattack just like before. However, when the video started playing, I suddenly realized the true meaning of despair. Oh boy. It's AI! It's AI! It's AI! Artificial intelligence! I'm telling you! It's getting too good! Look at Vio! Come on, you can't, it's a prompt, okay? It is made up of 3 prompts and 20 reference photos. Trust me, bro. Trust! Hello, everybody. My name is Calibran Stone, a detective in the local Criminal Investigation Bureau. If the video is being played in the police station or a courtroom, I'm probably no longer alive. Before getting to the point, I must confess a grievous mistake. My childhood playmate and best friend was killed in 310 Cube Stadium explosion last year. Since then, I have harbored deep hatred towards Sky Shield, the mastermind behind the explosion. A year ago, I started an undercover operation against Sky Shield, regardless of the opposition of my superiors. I took some illegal means to infiltrate their senior levels and was entitled Triones. Today, on July 3rd, Oh, so he was a spy. Today, on July 3rd, I learned that the stolen time bomb, HMBX-3000, is in the possession of Sky Shield. They have been planning for a long time to carry out a bombing attack at Apex Stadium tomorrow. Sky Shield has numerous informants, notifying the police can prevent the attack but can't capture the cunning leaders. In order to do that, I set a trap for the 2 heads who would carry out the explosion, Cerberus and Snowflake. I opened a secret passage inside the stadium and opened an emergency iron door in advance. I leaked the information to them this morning. As long as they get in through the passage and meet in the athletes' resting area, I will catch them both. I heard that Cerberus used to serve in special forces, while Snowflake is an assassin capable at throwing sharp objects, and you wanted to capture them both by yourself. How? I can't let my comrades be in danger because of my personal grudge, so I intended to face it alone. If I'm killed, I hope you all bring all the despicable criminals to justice. After months of investigation, I have identified the prime suspect for Cerberus, and his name is Sans. Both the undercover operation and the arrest operation were planned by myself alone. My wife, Lily Sanford, is not aware of it. Brother, my guy, you knew that come on, if you wrote it out, okay, on the best looking piece of paper, I will face an assassin who's good in knife throwing and someone who was in special forces by myself. Okay, if you've written it on the best piece of paper, with the best handwriting ever, with the best pen out there, it'll still look bad! Both the undercover operation and the did I say this? I don't know. I'm still. He really thought, bro. He thought he was him. As a precaution, I will schedule an email with this video to be sent on the morning of July 6th. Thank you all. Take care. Order! Order! Everyone, order! It can't be true. It's not real, right? You treacherous scoundrel! How dare you defend someone like that? Brother, someone had to defend him, okay? It just happened to be him, okay? Everyone has a right to a lawyer. Don't you know how the law works? Well, looks like he's not what he seems. Detective Sanford, could you ensure the authenticity of this video? The police have already verified it. The video is absolutely genuine without editing. Absolutely. It's AI. Trust. I mean, have you seen the progression of AI video? Have you seen the Will Smith eating spaghetti? Like the two videos side by side? I can't believe it! Guards, surround the court. Not even a fly is allowed to get out. What about the cockroaches? I see. No wonder Detective Stone was in the sauna. No wonder the police at the scene were arranged in that way. With his confession, everything makes sense now. But what will happen next? What should I do? What are you waiting for? Give him the death penalty, now! Do you know how many innocent people will lose their lives if a bomb explodes in a crowded stadium? You despicable demon! You committed murders, and you took countless murders, and you took away my cow. Yeah, go to hell! Detective Sanford, calm down! Stop her! Go away! My chest! Oh. Order! Everyone order! Bayleaf, escort Detective Sanford down for arrest. The trial is in urgent recess for 10 minutes. The rest of Bayleaf, keep an eye on the defendant. So the trial was interrupted amidst great chaos. Suspected as a head of an international criminal organization, Sands is under stricter surveillance. Even as his defense attorney, I'm not allowed to contact him during the recess. I don't know if he is really Cerberus, a villain with a slew of significant felonies, as Detective Stone claimed. Anyway, it's impossible to conclude today's trial with a simple resolution. At the moment before the recess, the entire audience cast disdain and hateful glances at the defendant. If they had the authority to sentence, perhaps every verdict would be guilty. Well, that was a long episode. And pretty eventful, I must say. I like this dynamic, using Charlie as a way to explore the past. I feel like more games should do this. This game introduced the two protagonists or two playable characters mechanic thing. One for the present, one for the past. That's actually pretty cool. Though I'm pretty sure case 2 came after case 1, so I'm not exactly sure. So I guess case 2 is just a way to introduce Charlie Drake as a playable character, so that you won't feel as abrupt. You know, won't feel as surprised playing as him now. But at the same time, it doesn't really matter. I don't know. But it was pretty cool. And it is pretty cool. I wish more games do this. Anyway, what else do I think about this? It's pretty weird seeing Tessa, like, now we know what her original name is. Why Luna was so confused seeing Tessa for the first time. Firstly, her name was Lily Sanford, and she was a brunette, not a white hair. I don't know why she dyed her hair. Is it to represent a new beginning? I don't know. Well, all things considered, I'm glad she pulled through, you know, especially since she has a son, which is quite sad. The son has to grow up with this fate. And now I see that Luna was kind of a dick back then, huh? Like, it's a little funny, you know? Like, wow, she was a prodigy, she was stuck up, she was arrogant. Now it's toned down, but I guess you can kind of see where she gets her stubbornness from. Like, she has the stubbornness of an ace attorney prosecutor. You know, you can tell from her one line about Annie, like, they can show me like 10,000 pieces of evidence and I still won't believe her. That is honestly ace attorney prosecutor mentality. And now we know why. Well, and we see now that she's kind of hollowed out. And I think the whole traumatic experience is why. So, if you see someone who is kind of or very annoying and arrogant, and you want to straighten them out, traumatize them. You know? Yeah. That'll show them. And then they'll sit down and shut up and stuff like that. Classic. And in fact, it did much more for Charlie because Luna ended up joining Charlie. So that's nice. And now we see why Alex hates lawyers. Honestly, if I went through that experience, I'd hate them too. Poor Alex. But at the same time, he is just too delulu. Like, what is that? It's like, oh, I heard the sound, so my imagination went running. And because I imagined this and that, I decided that's the truth. Dumb. He should have at least mentioned it was a hypothesis based on the sounds he heard. Then maybe it would have been more understandable. But he just had to be delulu. Which is almost as bad as Amy from Sonic Battle. Which is honestly the worst case of delulu I've ever seen. I mean, sure, you can argue about other cases of delulu being worse, but in Sonic Battle, you literally fight her delulu, like in physical form, somehow. Yeah, no beating that, in my eyes, anyway. Anyway, yeah, and we got to see, what's his name? I forgot what his name was because I have bad memory. Oh yeah, Cal. We got to see Cal. He looks like a stand-up guy, but he does not look like the kind of guy who can take on, 2 elite killers. Sorry, man. You're not him. Anyway, with that being said, thank you so much for watching my playthrough of Trials of Innocence. And if you like what you see, stay tuned and stay awesome. Good night.